We'd like to welcome Ludvig Aberg into the RBC Heritage Media Center. You're making your second start here at Harbour Town and had a chance to see the course this morning. Can you talk a little bit about it and what you expect to see starting the rounds tomorrow?
Yeah, it's a really cool golf course. It's a smart golf course. You kind of have to obviously place your tee balls and play a little chess when you're playing the golf course. But it's a cool Pete Dye place that I really enjoy, and I look forward to the challenge. There will be some firm greens. It seems like they firmed up quite a bit from yesterday, so probably going to be expecting that next couple of days as well. But it'll be good. It'll be a good test.
And you're coming off a 7th place finish last week at the Masters. How do you go about turning the page after an eventful week?
Yeah, it's obviously last week was a big week. It takes a lot out of you, and Monday morning I almost felt a little hungover, even though I didn't have a sip of alcohol. So it's a cool place to come to. It's a very different vibe here compared to last week, but obviously it's a massive event, and we're really excited to get going on Thursday.
Great. We'll go ahead and open it up for questions. We'll start with Doug.
Why didn't you have a sip of alcohol?
Probably I should have.
What is the transition like going from not only just a pressure-packed week, 4 days of high energy, to a very charming atmosphere here, even though it's a strong field and lots at stake and things like that?
Yeah, it's a tricky dynamic. I experienced it first time last year, obviously going from the Masters to here, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoy the test and the difference in this golf course compared to last week. It's not just go ahead and hit driver on every single hole. You have to think about it. You sort of, like I said before, almost play a little chess when you play in this place, which creates a different challenge that I really enjoy. But yeah, it's a tricky part coming off last week when there's so much. It's almost like the air just comes out of you and you feel a little deflated, but it's still a big event, obviously, and we're really excited to be here.
Go right here to Paul.
Ludvig, I think it was at Valero, you were talking a little bit about your swing, your club face maybe getting a little too open at times, not being able to turn. I'm just wondering kind of what causes that in your swing for you and how you've been trying to fix it. Obviously, you played well last week, so maybe seems like you made some progress.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's funny because the more I play, the better it gets. So the more I sort of get away from 7 irons in the mirror on the range sort of thing. So, but yeah, I think what causes it is more probably just a tendency. Everyone's got their own tendencies that they work with, and everyone's sort of slipping into different patterns of the movement of their bodies, and that's just the way that my body sort of always goes to. And it's probably something I'm going to have to work on for the next, the rest of my career, most likely. But I liked last week because I could start to see, I recognize the misses a lot more, which I'm okay with missing as long as it matches up with what I feel. I felt like in San Antonio and at the Players it didn't match up at all, so it becomes really hard to score, and it was a lot better last week, which was nice to see. And yeah, looking forward to keep progressing and make it a little bit sharper this week.
For a while on Sunday at the Masters, Rory was pretty far out in front, then he makes a couple mistakes and suddenly you're right in it. At what point were you kind of aware of that? Did you feel that manifest in you at all, like nerves as you realize, hey, I'm not 5 back, I'm 1 back? Did that come up at all?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Augusta is such a cool place where you hear everything that's going on, even though you're still looking at the leaderboard. So pretty much throughout the whole day, we knew what was happening, and it wasn't until somewhere around probably 13, 14 when I started to pay more attention to it. And I remember, obviously, I made birdie on 15, which was nice to get me to tied maybe, or even 1 back, something like that. And after that, it's a cool place because you definitely hear everything that's going on. And I probably felt like 10 wasn't going to be enough. I probably needed to get to 11, 12 if I wanted a chance for a playoff, and that ended up being the number 2 that I didn't get to, which was unfortunate. But it's a cool place to play golf at.
Next up.
This was a little bit announced last week while you were busy doing your golf thing. They're going to have a mixed team for the Olympics in 28. Just wanted to get your thoughts on how do you think that will go? 36 holes of 4 balls and foursomes, I think.
I think it'll be really cool. I think the Olympics already was sort of a different event from the start. So I really enjoy the news that we get to team up with some of the girls. I feel like we don't really do that at all anyway, so I think it's a nice time to do it at the same time as you're playing individual. So I'm all for it. I remember we had some conversations a while back when they started asking us about it, and I was positive back then, and I'm positive now about it. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be cool. Obviously, it's a quite some times away, so hopefully I'll be on the team. But I'm glad they announced those changes.
Back to Keith.
Ludvig, last week you played really well around the greens. You had your best performance around the greens in a major championship to date. Is there anything new you're working on in your short game?
Not necessarily. There's a few, I actually put in a new wedge this week compared to last week. I felt like some of when it gets really firm, it's almost like a hard pan sort of underneath the surface, and I felt like I was lacking a little bit in that. But it's nice to see that it's progressing. I don't necessarily change too much. I just try to improve a little bit, and to make it a little bit sharper. But it's definitely nice to see that it's improved a little bit, at least.
Go right back there to Kathy.
Do you play a lot of mixed team events, or did you growing up in Sweden?
Not a ton. We played a couple sort of foursome matches, junior events sort of thing, but not a ton. It would always be on the same site, but it wasn't like a mixed leaderboard, if you will. It was more 2 tournaments going on at the same time on the same course. That was what we did.
Do you have any top of mind picks that you'd like to play with?
From the Olympics standpoint, yeah. I mean, I think all the Swedish girls are really nice. They're great people. So I think there's a couple in college right now. They're probably going to be sort of on the watch list, I would imagine. So I think in a couple of years' time we'll see. But yeah, there's multiple Swedish girls that are really nice that I wouldn't mind playing with.
Right here, Doug.
This is probably a fairly weird question for you, but I'd like a good answer if you can do it. As long as you've been good at golf, really competitive, did you have to learn how to accept losing, or did that come naturally?
Yeah,
because you lose all the time in this, or you don't win. Excuse me.
Yeah, no, you don't win at all. Feels like. Yeah, I think so. I think golf humbles you in that way. I played a bunch of different sports growing up, mainly soccer, and I didn't like soccer because ultimately it wasn't in my hands if we won or not, and I didn't necessarily enjoy that. So I think that's why I lean towards golf, because if I lose, I lose, and it's all on me, and if I win, I win. It's all on me as well. So although we are a team, me and Joe, but I think it's definitely a humbling sport because you're going to lose a lot, and it can be challenging at times. It can be quite tricky to handle, but I think at this point we're all so used to it that you're sort of okay with it. But yeah, we're all competitors and we all want to win. But yeah, unfortunately it doesn't happen as often as I would like to.
Did you ever have any bad moments as a kid?
In terms of
maybe not losing with great, let's call it dignity.
Yeah, I think I didn't really get angry. I didn't really get, I didn't really throw things around me. I was just, really bitter, really grumpy and quiet. Disappointed in myself if I had a bad game or a bad round or something like that. But I can't remember I had like a tantrum or an instance where it was. I don't think so.
And so, as you look at last week, what is your immediate thought? Maybe the day after, is your first thought to what you did wrong, or is it looking back at the week as a whole and saying it wasn't all that bad?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think you should definitely look at things that you want to do better and things that you want to improve. Have conversations with the people close to you and figure out, okay, what did we do good and what what are we missing. I feel like there's such a emphasis on things that are missing in this sport, whereas me and our team, we worked a lot on the things that are actually working and just keep doing that. So I think it's easy to forget the things that you're doing well and not necessarily focus on that too much. But I think from last week, there's a few things that I picked up on that was pretty cool, and I'm encouraged by it. But there's also a few things that I'd like to improve on.
Just a few more, Paul.
You alluded to just a couple great young Swedish golfers in college. Just wondering, you're not that far removed from being one of those kids coming from Sweden. Just, do you stay attuned to kind of the junior scene in the country? Who's playing well, who's coming up? Are you already a mentor at all, even at 25?
Yeah, I wouldn't call myself a mentor. There's no one that's sort of reached out to me. But yeah, I like to keep up with it. My swing coach, Hans, he's in charge of the high school that I went to, and so he's obviously in that world, and I love to ask him questions about the kids coming up. It seems like everyone's got 85 ball speed or something like that, so it's just interesting to see how they work, and it's fun to be around. It's really fun to sort of hang out with those, and they're all super eager to learn and super, enthusiastic. So yeah, I was in Lubbock a couple of weeks ago before the Valero event, so I like to keep up with the golf team in college too. It's fun to have a good relationship still with coach, so we text every now and then and ask him sort of what the team is and what's looking. So yeah, I like to keep that part of my life close to me, even though we're sort of busy over here doing our thing.
You mentioned just briefly there, kids just getting faster and faster as they come up. Do you feel like that's one of those things, you're already one of the longest hitters, but that you have to continually get faster just to keep up with the growing pace of what younger players are doing?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you want to stay competitive and stay injury-free, you need to take care of those things. Just looking at, played 2 rounds with Rory last week, and he sends it, and you feel like, how can he not beat me every tournament almost, when he's playing from 30 yards ahead. So yeah, there's definitely that motivational tool in terms of getting stronger and faster. So I don't think you should rush it either, but definitely sort of a long-term thing over the next couple of years would be something I'd like to improve on.
Last question.
Ludvig, the Olympics conversation made me think of something more recent. Last week, all 12 players from your team in Rome were in the same place. Was there any discussion about Beth Page or anything like that?
No, we didn't necessarily talk. We have a group chat still from Rome and WhatsApp, so we text in that one every now and then, and Luke's done a great job of sort of keeping us really close and connected. So yeah, I think it's cool to see the European guys coming up strong this year. Multiple wins, and obviously Rory's got 3 wins, so I enjoy it, but there's a long time to go, and we'll see how it shapes up.
Just a quick follow-up. How much is Beth Page on your mind?
It's definitely on my mind. I remember when I got picked for Rome, and everyone was telling me, once you made one team, you don't want to ever miss it, and it's very true. So yeah, I definitely don't want to miss that. I want to be there, and I want to be playing for Team Europe. So it's definitely on my mind, and using it more as motivation to play well this year more than anything, I think.
Awesome, thank you. And I'm going to ask you if you answer in Swedish, please.
Yep.
How much do you have to adjust your game to this course comparing with last week? I don't know how.
Google Translate. Nej, men det är definitivt en annan typ av utmaning. Det är lite mer strategi. Såklart mycket strategi på Augusta också, men lite mer vinklar, lite mer måste vara på den sidan fairway för att ha ett slag där trädet hänger ut. Men det är en cool PGA-bana som jag gillar att spela. Den är inte den längsta möjligtvis, så man får tänka till lite innan man slår, och börjar det blåsa så kan det bli lite snurrigt med vinden också, så att det är en cool bana att spela och en annan typ av utmaning mot förra veckan.
We know you worked with Hans last week with some details in your backswing. Have you found any keys?
Nej, men det är bättre och bättre tycker jag. Det jag gillar med förra veckan var att det matchade upp mer med vad jag kände. Jag har egentligen inga problem att missa, men så länge jag känner att jag slår slag, tittar upp på den är 4 meter högre och känner att den är 4 meter högre, då är jag mer okej med det. Medan vissa tävlingar jag spelar tidigare år, Bay Hill och Players och även San Antonio matchade inte riktigt upp, så det var kul att se att det blev bättre förra veckan och förhoppningsvis kan vi fortsätta utvecklas och bli lite vassare och lite skarpare på denna tävlingen här.
How positive are you for a good result this week?
Absolut, så fram emot det. Jag vill ju tro att ju mer jag spelar, ju mer tävlingar jag spelar, ju bättre blir jag. Så att alltid saker man kan lära sig, och jag tyckte förra veckan var ett jättebra exempel på att vi bara fortsatt spela. Vi kanske inte var jätteskarpa på alla delar av spelet, men höll ihop det på ett bra sätt och hade en chans att vinna, vilket var kul. Så att kan vi göra det denna veckan också, så förväntar jag mig att jag har bra resultat med mig.
Thank you.
Thank you.